Friends, welcome back to another day of math learning. Okay, now before we begin today, I just want to shout out first of all 4Ts because 24 out of our 30 scholars yesterday submitted their math assignments, so that's a big jump from last week. This number makes me super happy and proud. Okay, now we did shout out these scholars yesterday: Jamie and Gianna, Land, and Kimura. Now we're entered to participate at our end of the week raffle. Okay, now every single day during this video during the learning video, we are going to be pausing and revealing a word of the day. And so on your exit ticket, you have to enter the word of the day, and you can only know the word if you listen to this video from the beginning to the end. Okay, now this doesn't count against you, it's just an added bonus, and it allows me and Mr. Davis to know if you are really tuning in and using the videos that we submit every day to better your learning. Okay, and so with that said, let's start math. Alrighty, our focus today is going to be on comparing multi-digit numbers using the symbols greater, less, and equal to symbols. Okay, before we begin, just notice a multi-digit number is exactly what it sounds like. It's a number that has many digits, multi-digits, okay? And so we're going to be using these symbols to compare numbers that have more than one digit. All right, let's move on. Now, if I'm trying to show the relationship between two numbers, and I'm trying to teach that 7 is greater than 5, then I need to make sure that the symbol, some of you think of it as like an alligator mouth. In 4th grade, we tend to say the symbol that has the 2 dots facing the number that is greater. Okay, if I'm trying to vice versa teach that a number is less, then I'm going to again have the symbol this time pointing, or at the end, like right, the end point or the point with just one end point pointing towards the number that is less. And last but not least, if I'm trying to show the relationship between two numbers that are equal, I know when I think of equal, we tend to use equal signs at the end, like of an addition sentence, a subtraction sentence, and so on. However, today when we're showing the relationship between two numbers, we're going to show that they are equal. Okay, so we're going to do exactly this work, but we're going to do so with two multi-digit numbers. So I'm going to start off by saying 758,432 is what to 758,363. Okay? And so now in order to figure out what the relationship is between these two numbers, I need you guys to remember, what place value should I look at first when comparing two numbers? And so what I mean by this is, am I going to look to the left? Am I going to look to the right? Am I going to just look somewhere in the middle? Okay, so take a few seconds, think about this question. Where would I start if I was trying to compare multi-digit numbers? And so if you said, Miss Alborda, you should start to the right, tune in with me, please. Because notice, if I start with the right, well, I have a 2 here, and I have the 3 here. So I can compare these numbers by just looking at the ones place column. Okay? And so in this case, I would say, well, this number is definitely definitely greater than this number right here. Okay? However, this is what you need to remember. When accurately comparing numbers, you need to always start with the greatest place value. With the what? The greatest place value. Okay? And so in this case, I have numbers that both have 100,000 place values. And so we start number or place value by place value, I should say. And then I determine what the value is. And so the 7 here, the value of 7 here is actually 700,000, similar to this one. The value is also 700,000. So at this point, they're equivalent. And I'm going to make my way now to the value to the right, which again, I'm noticing that 50,000 is the same as 50,000. So I have to continue this work. Again, 8,000 is equivalent to, friends, 8,000, okay? And I'm going to continue my work until I finally come across a number that's different. And in this case, I have the 4 in the hundreds place column, and I have the 3 in the hundreds place column. And now I can kind of think to myself, well, wait a minute. If this particular multi-digit number has 400 and this multi-digit number has 300, well, it doesn't seem that this number is greater than this one, right? So that didn't make sense, that this 758,363 would be greater than this. No. And so that is why we need to remember to always start with the greatest place value, okay? And now my next step is to also remember, well, if I'm using a comparison symbol, I need to make sure that I'm pointing it to the right direction. And so again, if the alligator mouth faces, or the side of the alligator mouth has the 2 dots, right? Alligator, then you're teaching that it is greater, okay? So now we can conclude, and you can say this with me. 758,432 is greater, yep, than 758,363. With that said, I'm about to conclude today's learning video. However, was almost forgetting the word of the day. So, today's word of the day is elephant, okay? Now, for those friends, if you have any elephant sculptures, I was raised believing that an elephant tail or the back of the elephant needs to face the door. And this is just a belief that's supposed to say, like, when you have elephants facing your door, you're welcoming in money into your life so that you're always feel comfortable. Now listen, like I said, a belief I was raised with, but it doesn't hurt me to keep my elephant always facing my door. All right. So at this time, if you have any other questions, feel free to contact myself or Mr. Davis. We can offer you a little more support if you need it, okay? If not, you can get started with your exit certificate. See you next time, friends.